Chris Redd just got done with his fourth season of SNL, and he also has a supporting role in the new sitcom Kenan. I'm Kevin Jacobsen of Gold Derby here with Chris. And let's just start with SNL, which you just got done with. Was there an episode this season and just the week leading up to it where you felt like everyone was firing on all cylinders and you were just proud of your work in particular?
Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like this is cheap to say, but I was so proud of like everybody every week because of just what we had to go through in order to make a show happen. And there were some weeks, there was definitely some weeks I was like like really proud of like, I mean the opener. I had a lot of anxiety about COVID, man, and, and the testing made us comfortable and everything the way they did it, but like it was the first time seeing me being out the house, working, seeing people, performing in front of people again, and to make a music video during that was I was like, man, we really did that shit, and because and we had a COVID scare like on the set of that music video. It was Bottom of Your Face was the music video, and we during the halfway through it we had a COVID scare. We had to shut down for like 3 hours, and so it ended up being like a 20-hour day. And I had started going to bed at like 9 o'clock, like a regular person. So it was weird to do those 20-hour days again. But definitely there was three like specific weeks right when we came back from Kenan, from going back and forth, that were really dope. Like I was like doing the cold open a bunch, and I did like there's one week where I did like two music videos in one week. We did Boomers Got the Vax and NFTs. I think that was like the second one. Like it was like just a lot of like cold open, like double of that, and then I was doing like update, and it was like, oh, this is crazy. Like this is what it feels like to be Kate McKinnon. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it just, sometimes like when you're on the show, like it's very rare where you have weeks when you're newer, where you have weeks like that, where you get to kind of be all over the show. So like I was real proud of that, and then and every single person was bringing it. Like everybody brings it for me, man. Like I mean, you see that finale was crazy. Like everybody every week is kind of bringing it. So I'm always in awe of the people I work with,
Mm,
but it's always fun when you get to like play a lot. But I
yeah.
hadn't even been that tired from playing so much. So that was really cool. But I was also like, oh, I see, I could take a week off. I see, like, after you
Right.
have so much to do,
Yeah.
it was mad fun.
Well, another thing is you joined in 2017. So you were basically in the entire Trump era
Yeah.
and the election happens, Biden is elected. I'm actually curious if you noticed a difference in the mood overall.
Oh yeah. It was it went from constant like cartoonish level chaos to an adult being there in the White House, and so it was like, there was a sense of like, oh, we can be goofy again a little bit. Like it's, because we had to spend so much trying to capture everything dude was doing all of the time, and like trying to beat out all the jokes because everybody was making jokes about the same thing. And he's also kind of a funny dude, like in his own right. Um, Not on purpose, but he is. And it was like good to just like not have to hyper focus on that, and just to get back to the silly and like what sketch is supposed to be outside of just it being about one person. It's like, oh, we now have 50 more minutes of the show that we can dedicate to like, whatever the hell we want to talk about. You know what I mean? And because it's a big world. There's so much other stuff to cover. So it was cool to have that not take up so much space.
Yeah. I definitely noticed a difference there
Right.
about the midway point in the season. But you also have a number of great impressions this season. I mean, you did Obama, you did Lil Wayne, Smokey Robinson, Lil Nas X, Daniel Kaluuya, Morpheus from The Matrix. I mean,
Very current, very current.
Yes.
I like to keep every impression as current as possible.
Of course, yes. There's obviously, you know, a specificity there with the voices and the mannerisms that I imagine isn't always the easiest to nail down. Would you say there was one in particular there that you struggled with at all?
I feel like I struggle with like getting exact impressions is something that like I'm always conscious of because I feel like I love character work and I love like finding something about a character regardless if it's a real person or not. I just feel I lean more into having more comfort in people that I'm making up or like I'm introducing to the world more than like I always like I'm hyper drilling every impression just because I overthink it. I feel like impressionists like who call themselves impressionists I just like better at it. But they just work at it harder and more. But I think I love doing my Obama. I've had it for a very long time, and I just never really thought to use it again because I don't think like an impressionist, right? Like, like I was just sitting on it for a long time, and then my homie Will Steven was like, "Yo, we should do an Obama," because I was just fucking around one day and I was doing it. He was like, "Hey, it's kind of good," and then I was like, "Yeah," but also I'm like kind of familiar with some of his people, so I didn't want it to be bad. Like I didn't want him to hear it and it'd be trash. And then I get a Secret Service call like, "Hey man, cut it out." No. But Daniel Kaluuya was also one that was like pretty tough because I'm always I always feel like again I feel a little bit insecure about my accent work, so I'm always working hard to like make sure it's specific to them and because there's you know so many different ways to do a British accent. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun with those, man. Like I had a ton of, and Daniel said it, like he liked his, and Lil Nas was pretty simple. He's a Southern kid, you know what I mean? Like I'm from Mississippi, and I kind of know those kids, so that wasn't too tough. And Wayne, I've been a fan of my whole life, so I kind of like it's like some people I just have, because I've been rapping alongside them, or talking alongside them for a long time, and some people were just way more like just way more hard because they're of the specificity of them. And Obama's definitely one of those people that had
Yeah,
me.
I can
I
imagine there's
wanted to nail that shit. Yeah.
there's a pressure there for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I think you've also definitely emerged as one of the better songwriters for the show. I mean, you mentioned Bottom of Your Face, Strolling, Weird Little Flute, my personal favorite.
Shout out to
Yes.
Sam Bulla and Steve Theo, man.
Yeah.
That joint's hard. I love it.
Well, could you talk about just what the songwriting process is like on SNL and also just specifically where the inspiration came from for Weird Little Flute in particular? Because I'm just curious.
Yeah. So the inspiration for Weird Little Flute, Dan Bulla, one of the writers at SNL, fantastic collaborator on music stuff. We did Weird Little Flute, Sleeping on the Couch. Dan, I might be missing one or two. My bad, dog. But those are my fucking favorites. And he hit me up like 2 weeks before we were going back to the run where we ended up doing Weird Little Flute. I think Cuddy and them were at the end of that 3 week run. And so he called me 2 weeks before that, the beginning of that run. And he was like, "Hey, I got this idea. And it's about weird little flutes and rap songs." And I'm like, huh. And then he just played me like a really rough draft of it. And I was like, yeah. And so that's a lot of the times what like that's one way it happens. Like Bottom of Your Face was the same way where like I had written that in the summertime and then I brought it to Will Steven and I was like, yo, Will, I think this would be dope. And then when we found out who was hosting, who was the musical guest, I was like, we gotta do this shit joint. And then you just kind of bring it in and you kind of like punch it up and you let them hear it. I do like scratch tracks. So what I'll do is like we'll write and then I'll basically rap all the parts and I get it produced as much as I can. which the JP helped out with that one. I think Dan made it. JP and Eli, they all contributed to making Weird Little Flute cold, like cold. JP mastered that joint. But like I was just basically like kind of get the idea, like fuck around with like how we like our take on something, and then like Boomer's got the Vax. Me and Streeter just sat there and like basically roasted our parents because they're like they got vaxes just to go nowhere, and he was like, I want to do a song about that, and so we just roasted them for a while, and then and try to find every kind of person, every kind of boomer you could represent in there, and like just write jokes for it, and he would like, how would this rhyme? And then I would make it rhyme. We just wrote that song just like that. And so there's a lot of different ways, but it's pretty much like all night you're kind of jumping on like what kind of sound you want it to be. You jump on the phone with the producer that's going to do it the best, and it's usually either Eli, JP, and then you kind of write all night. If you start on Tuesday, sometimes the idea hits you right on Tuesday. Sometimes you have it way beforehand. So it's just a mixture. You know what I mean? Like it could kind of happen any and all ways, but you can never count on any one way to work. You know, just got to try it.
Keeps you on your toes, I guess. Well, there's been a lot of chatter about who's coming back, who's not coming back for the next season. I don't know if you can confirm whether or not you will be returning to the show.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'll be on my way back there. Yeah, you know, as long as I get that little contract that says I'm back. You know, I don't have any plans on leaving. So, yeah, I'm just getting started, man, for real. Like I'm just starting to have like real fun. I haven't, you know, this is my first job I've held this long. You know what I mean? Like I've worked 50 jobs, bro, and I've never had a job longer than 3 years, longer than 2 years, really. Olive Garden was my longest job, so this is way more impressive than that. You know, so
this does beat Olive Garden for sure. But well, just switching over to Kenan, I'm curious what the initial discussions were about signing you on as a cast member there too.
Lauren called me in his office, and it was the Eddie Murphy Christmas show, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna do another run at Kenan's show, and we have a role of his brother and manager. Would you want to be in that role?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like absolute capital fuck yeah, without hesitation, without a doubt, yes. Then I was like, well, send me the script, but I didn't have to read shit. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, first of all, you know, I'm still auditioning like everybody else, so being offered stuff is super dope. But it's like, you know, it was Kenan. You know what I mean? And I'm down. You know what I mean? That's one of my good friends and family. You know what I'm saying? So there was like, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. You know, and then I read the script, and I just knew we would be able to like bring it to life and give our own kind of flavor on it. And then the fact that we were just like blessed to have such a dope cast fill out the show was just amazing. You know?
Yeah. Well, you've now worked with Kenan in multiple areas.
Yeah.
How would you describe just the dynamic between you and him on Kenan versus you and him on SNL? Is there a big difference?
It's we play, man. It's kind of it's just in how you play. Like we're able to create more different, like a more different variety of things on SNL. Like making music with Kenan is so much fun. Making sketches with the dude is so much fun. You know what I mean? It's like it's just it's just a different, we get to play, but just in different ways. You know what I mean? Like doing a narrative was really fun because we got to find different levels of these two characters. But like our banner is crazy. Like we can improvise with each other for hours. So it's like it's barely work. You know what I mean? I know when I was on when we were on Kenan and we couldn't get back to the show, I really missed making music. I really miss like getting in the studio and like making a comedy song with him. So when one of our episodes was literally us making some comedy music, I was like, thank God, I get my little fix. So it's just fun all the way around. And our dynamic is like I came in there like you gonna be my big bro. I don't have a big brother. You gonna be my big bro. And it's that, man. He kind of looks out for his people, but he's also like a dope peer and like, and you know what I mean, and puts me on game all the time. I can mentor, but I just like just fun, man. Just a fun person to kind of create with, and yeah, it makes it easy, so it doesn't feel like I'm working most of the time.
Wow. Yeah. Well, something I kind of noticed in your performance on that show and also in some of your work in SNL is just how you kind of specialize in these characters that have a lot of confidence and kind of a earnestness to them almost, even if they're not always, fully the brightest, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
dumb confident characters
yes.
is what I
Yes.
love. I love a dumb confident character. I think or just yeah, just or just an ignorant character who's just I like playing wrong. I like playing confidently wrong people. Like that's it's a very fun place to live at and to live in, and I think yeah, it's just they're just mad interesting to me. Uh, and just like that wild card, you kind of just never know what you're gonna get. And you also for a lot of those people, those characters, like there's more to them. There's more layers to them, and I like that about them too. Like because those characters can evolve to different places. Like are they dumb because they just don't know anything, or are they dumb because they're hiding something, or are they dumb because or is that translating because they don't want to disappoint themselves by reaching too high, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of stuff I've seen. That's a lot of stuff I've felt at times, when I was younger. So like it's a lot of, and it can be displayed in different ways, and that's what has made me laugh. Those characters have made me laugh coming up too. So I like to be able to give my take on those.
Yeah. Well, just in the last minute or two here, we are an awards website. I have to mention that you are an Emmy winner. You
Yeah,
you won for writing the song "Come Back Barack," which I believe was your first season
it
on
was my first.
SNL, which
It was
is
my
kind of
first,
wild. Can
super
you take us
wild.
back to just the night of you actually winning that Emmy with Kenan also?
Oh man. Well, I had no idea for real what the Emmy meant. Like I was just kind of like, oh, we get a trophy for this? This is crazy. And and then I was like, it was amazing, man, because I had always seen award shows and I knew it's essentially what it was, but it was like it didn't really register until that moment where I was like, damn, oh, this is why those speeches are important. This is why all of this, you know what I mean? It's like, this is why you gotta like be ready to, thank who you're gonna thank and all that. Cause you do definitely like forget all of that. You're like, oh, holy, this moment is so much bigger than I thought. And that's kind of what it felt like. It was so much fun. And then I was like going home, like, wait, who's won an Emmy in their first season? I looked it up. Like it was like Chevy Chase was like the second person to ever do it. And I'm like, this is setting my second year up to be horrible. Because now all I'm gonna be doing is trying to chase this. Uh, and but it was surreal, man. Like it was such a dope moment, and I'll never forget it. And Emmy's like literally sitting. Well, it's in this case that the laptop is sitting on right now. And
Casually,
yeah,
yeah.
it's keeping this little Emmy casket in here so I get a show. Then I'm gonna put it up. Yeah, but
Nice.
it's amazing, man. I had to come down from it. I had to come down. I needed that year to be like, all right, every year ain't gonna be an Emmy year. You gotta just create to create.
Right.
Um,
You
I
got
tried to tell
spoiled.
I tried to tell myself I wasn't gonna do it. I was trying to like when I won, I'm like, all right, it's not about the Emmys. It's not about the Emmys though, man. But I still was trying to get that Emmy, and I did not that next year, and they humbled me quickly.
All right. Well, for those of you watching, subscribe for more interviews and head to goldderby.com to make your Emmy predictions. Chris, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, Kev.